That is the very entrancing sound of the Kitty Cats. And one of the Kitty Cats is Renee. Good morning.
Hello, Rick. How are you?
Renee, you've got a very impressive background. What is it?
Oh, gosh, I started working professionally when I was 17 years of age, which is back in the early 90s, after completing my studies at the Queensland Conservatorium of Music. And I was living in Brisbane, and I actually started out doing a lot of radio and television jingles, and then went and worked overseas in the South Pacific and in Southeast Asia, working at five-star hotels, performing sort of 6 nights a week. But my first love is jazz, and I sort of bring a fair bit of the jazz side of things into the Kitty Cats with the repertoire that we do.
What would you call that sort of jazz that you play, Renee?
Oh, gosh. I know it probably sounds silly, but I'm just going to call it vintage at the moment, and probably more of the roaring 40s style, I suppose, rather than anything too, cool jazz or bebop. I'd sort of say swing and roaring 40s style jazz.
Renee, I've got your CD in front of me, and an interesting twist because there's some very well-known songs, but you put your own version into it.
We do. If it's an old song, we try to make it new, and if it's a new song, we try to make it old. I'm not quite sure why, but we just love trying to find our own, what suits the three of us, and making that work within the song. And
this Friday night, what can the people expect?
Oh, wow. We're actually going through our repertoire at the moment. Obviously, because it's the end of year and it's their Christmas party, it's Harvey Bay Jazz Club's Christmas party, we are doing some carols and some gospel pieces. We're doing quite a few a cappella pieces, but then we've also got our 5-piece band who are just phenomenal. So they'll be joining us on the stage as well. We're going to do a bit of Andrew Sisters style. We're going to do a bit of, I guess, the old sort of croon kind of tunes, as well as some fun party songs at the end of the night for everybody to get up and just celebrate the end of the year with. Yeah.
Michelle gets too hungry for dinner at 8. Suze loves the theatre, but she always comes late.
And one of those ladies mentioned there, Suzanne, is part of the Kitty Cats. Good morning to you, Suzanne.
Hi, good morning.
Suzanne, tell me about this little story I heard. School kid, school student by day, rock star by night, and we're going to throw Bobby Lim in there as well.
Yes, I don't know about Rockstar. On the Sydney showboats that he used to produce, it was more showgirl by night, working at night on his boat.
That sounds a little bit more dignified, does it, going from showgirl as opposed to rock star?
I don't know what's more. I know I was one of the youngest to ever perform on the Sydney showboats because all the other singers were amazing, big names at the time, Liz Lord in musical theatre and things like that. And I think they used to sell out in a year in advance to all the, the Japanese and the overseas people used to book ahead because they'd come to Sydney and be part of their tour package. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I ended up getting on there because I met Bobby Lim through the School Spectaculars. I was in the same year as Human Nature and John Foreman and all of those people, and he plucked me from that and put me on the boats. And yeah, I stayed with him till 1999 when he passed away.
What an incredible background. I mean, back in those days, if people aren't old enough, Bobby Lim was just about the biggest name, not only in TV, but in entertainment. Remember all those shows, the Bobby Lim show? That was must-watching, wasn't it?
He's very well loved and liked, and he was so passionate about giving back. He really was so passionate about producing shows, and also his charities as well, cancer and diabetes and things like that. Yeah, I just remember the sparkle in his eyes, because when I knew him, I don't know, he never seemed to age. He stayed 70 forever, so I really don't know what age he was, but his eyes were bright like a young kid. It was lovely. It was lovely to have him as a mentor. He was,
Suzanne, what's it like working with Renee and Michelle?
Just fun. It's just three girls. It's just amazing because I think as a solo singer, as fun as it is out there on stage, it can be a lonely life travelling to and from on your own and doing your gigs. And, for me, it was always a separate life to family and friends. And it's just so nice to be able to share that with people who, understand and love it as much as you do and share your passions. And Yeah, we've become really close, good friends. It makes it even more enjoyable.
Good on you. Look, I know, thanks very much for taking your time today, because I know you girls are getting ready to travel to Hervey Bay. Are you looking forward to the Hervey Bay adventure?
Yes, I love Hervey Bay and we love the audience up there. This will be our third time there, so yeah, very excited.
My baby don't care for cars and races.
And another member of the Kitty Cats is Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruth. How are you?
Going well. All you girls have got an interesting background and story to share. What about you? You literally fell into the industry.
I sort of did. I was travelling overseas, and some Zimbabwean sisters that I was travelling with at the time sort of started pushing me up onto stage and making me sing because I used to serenade them as we travelled around, you know, as we went from one city to the next. And they came out to Australia with me when I came home, and they did the same here. They pushed me up on stage and made me sing. And I went to the manager and I said, look, if I got a duo together, would you employ me? And that was the Mapleton Hotel. And he said, yes, I would. And then I went madly about and found someone who'd play some music for me. And that's where it started. I was 27.
And how do you like it now, all those years later? You still get as much fun out of performing as you did then?
I do, and it's because it keeps evolving. You know, like joining with these girls has been the most amazing experience for me because I've learnt so much. I've just been this rock chick blues singer that, you know, with just, you know, a gravelly voice and not much learning behind it. You know, like I just fell into it and I never learnt to sing. And the girls have taught me so much in the last few years.
Thank you very much for joining us, all the lovely ladies from the Kitty Cats, Renee, Suzanne and Michelle. And no doubt you're going to knock them dead on Friday night.
Well, that's our plan.